everyone. Welcome to the G3 Boardroom. We're on our gaming weekend, and part of the weekend we've been playing a lot of a game called Power Grid, and we're going to talk a little bit today about Power Grid and our thoughts on it. How old is this game?
A few years, several years.
It's not quite as old as you.
Yeah. Which version is this? Now this game has a bunch of different versions.
It does. This is actually the recharged version, which, as I understand, is really just a reprint of the original one. I know there's a deluxe game as well. We didn't go with that one. We went with the recharged version. It's important to note this game also has a multitude of expansions, and they have different maps. And if you buy one of the expansions, you get a two-sided board with two different maps that actually have different rules that correspond with them as well. So you got a lot out of the box. You got two sides. You got U.S. on this side. You got Germany on the other side. And then, of course, I also picked up the expansion for India and Australia because that was the one that my local game store had available.
I was going to say, why would that be? Of course you picked that up.
Of course I did, because I pick up all the expansions for everything. I can't help myself.
Of course. That's the first one anybody would pick.
Of course. Well, it was the one they had,
Right.
So that's the one I got.
So what did you think of the game?
I haven't played this game that much. I only played it a couple times. I mean, I like it. It's fun. It reminds me a lot of Ticket to Ride.
Oh, boy.
Because it has a map.
No, it
it's
doesn't.
like Ticket to Ride.
But look at it. You look
It
at
has
that
a
board
similar looking map.
with a bunch of connected cities. The map is very Ticket to Ride-ish.
Do you mind if I add a little something
Oh,
there?
please.
Take this away from Ticket to Ride. When we start going down the Ticket to Ride road, this is going to be the most negative review ever.
And in violence.
Okay, first of all, I enjoy the game, but I tend to agree with Jason. The reason why I think it has some Ticket to Ride elements is because...
Because you like to be wrong as well. All right.
No, because in Ticket to Ride, you are competing for cities and you're trying to beat the person there before... trying to build your trains to get to the city before they can. This has some similar elements where you're trying to build these power stations and you're trying to get to these cities before somebody else because it's to your advantage. It makes your game go further. You have a better chance to win. So that's why I think there's some elements of Ticket to Ride. Regardless of that, I really enjoy the game. I like the idea because there's very, very little luck here. You have to make decisions that are either going to progress your game forward or make you go behind the other players, and you have to decide up front what kind of power am I going to go for, because that's one of the great things about this game is that you have a lot of different options, from coal plants to nuclear plants to even clean energy.
Green energy.
You know, so
Let me catch up here for a
Go ahead.
second first. Let me say Power Grid, Power Grid, Power Grid. I wanted to say that because I think we've said Ticket to Ride more in this review than we've said the word Power Grid. So that's what we're talking about. I tried to do that for him because he was...
that's Freeman Freese,
I'm
Rio
going-
Grande Games.
I'm going to the negative place.
Yeah.
So,
All right, well, let's talk about how it's not. Now, we got the resources, which are an integral part of this game.
yep.
Yeah, I mean, they're quality pieces too. I like the wood pieces.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
pretty nice. I do like pieces like that. You know, you got the resource bank, which is good. You have no objective cards, so you're free to go as you please, unlike another game that I'm not going to mention where you have objective cards and things you can do. I'm going to focus on this game here. I don't like that game there, but that's really because these guys always kick the living stuffing out of me when we play that game. But so I might have some negativity there. I like this game for some of the reasons Dave just said as well. It's up to you what you're doing. It's your strategy alone. Yeah, you can get bottlenecked behind some of these more expensive places, or you can end up with some of the cheap ones, but your job is to get over there, save money, do things on the cheap, get ahead. I like the resource market because there is a little bit of resource market manipulation there.
Absolutely.
I see that Dave needs coal or Jason needs oil, so I buy up as much of that as I can store, so it's more expensive for them.
Yeah, it drives the price up.
Yeah, you drive the price up, and it replenishes on a certain schedule, and so it might not all be coming back. Plus, if I hoard it, then it stays at a high price, and these guys have a harder time.
We got the resources down here right now. I mean, these things stretch all the way down to
Right.
the end, and then as you buy it, it moves it up, and you've got different monetary values. You know, as it shrinks this way, it becomes more expensive.
Right.
And yeah,
I also like the auctioning method in this game for getting new power plants. I really enjoy this because you can get this one on the cheap. You can get another one that's a little bit more expensive later on. And I like these a lot. The green energy, where you don't need to put any resources into it, sort of takes you out of that element of the game. You guys fight over that. You spend your money. I'm doing everything on the cheap. Of course, you're not going to pay base price for this. Someone's going to bid you up.
Yes.
And we normally end up paying
That's a great mechanic. The auction part is excellent.
You end up paying a premium unless you're last to go in the auction and no one's competing against you. Then you just get to snag it on either list price or cheaper if that's the discounted item.
Yeah, which is important because if you have a strategy in mind and you got your plan laid out, the whole bidding process might throw that off. You
Correct.
might lose more money than you'd wanted to
Right.
just to get the power plants that you wanted, and then you can't afford the resources that you wanted, and yeah, it goes from there.
We played a game where I had 2 green energy, the 2 lowest ones, number 1 and number 2, or powering value 1 and 2 right off the bat. And so I didn't have to do any resource market for a little while. Of course, you have to expand beyond that. You have to get better, or you have to improve your stuff. But I didn't have to participate in resource market. I was able to save some money. I still lost the game, but that's really something else entirely.
You want to say something? I have a couple more thoughts.
Well, I was just going to ask him who won the game. Wasn't that me? Wasn't that the game?
Was
I
it
won?
you?
I don't know.
It had to be you or me.
I don't
Oh,
know.
you're talking about when you first
Wasn't
game.
him.
I don't. Maybe we'll have to check the video.
This was one of the first games we played when we started the weekend.
On location.
And I won that game. And I got. When you look at these, the reason I won it is I just got lucky with the starting placement. You can see that all the cities you want to spread to have different numbers that you need to get, and the lower those numbers, the cheaper it is to expand.
When do you think we're going to see the video on that one?
Yeah, we didn't record that one.
Oh.
So it didn't happen.
One thought I really wanted to mention was this has some Euro style game mechanics to it, and one of the great mechanics I think for at least in games I've played is a snake method in terms of who goes first and who goes last.
Yeah.
So even if you are the starting player, you get to choose which power plant's up for auction first. The next phase of the game is buying resources, and that goes to the last player. So there's a good balance to the game to allow everybody to feel like they're always in the game, they always have a chance. And so far, the games we've played, nobody's run away with it.
Right.
It's always been really
It's
comes all the way
normally
down to the
pretty
end.
close. It's normally pretty close. I like games that do that too. I especially like games where you bid on going first. It costs you something.
Right.
If you want to go first, you can do that. It's going to cost you a little something. This game doesn't have a bidding mechanism like that, but I still like it because you go first to last, last to first.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing you go first on isn't necessarily the best.
Right.
Because you're going for the auction. That means everyone's in the auction. Everyone's bidding against you. And so going first is not that great. But going first for resources, which means you're in 6th place, or however many you're playing with, going first buying resources is valuable. Going first setting up houses is valuable. And so there's something to be said there. I think you're right. I like that method too.
There's a lot of timing in this game. You really got to plan ahead, 2-3 turns ahead, because there's a lot of strategy involved.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the ultimate goal is to have whatever. Let's say if you have 6 players in a game, you want to
15.
get like 15 of these things of yours
Power
out
plants.
there, power plants on the cities. So you have to get advanced to you have 15 of those, and then you have to have enough resources sitting in your power plants to power all of those like houses. So that's really the win condition. You have enough of these with enough of those sitting in enough of these.
yeah, there's a lot of manipulation going on. You got to really think ahead.
Absolutely.
Now, I think you're probably going to say it. I think you probably agree now. There's one, unfortunately, big negative about this game.
Yeah. Go ahead. You take it. I got enough negativity. Yeah.
Paper money.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
Yeah.
The other pieces are nice and they're good enough, but paper money, man, I don't know an alternate method for as much math and money moves around in this game.
So we talked about maybe
But-
like an app or something, but even then you got 6 people all have to be using the
I
problematic.
honestly would prefer cardboard pieces or even
Coins,
some kind of coin.
Like tokens?
something. Yeah. I just don't like paper money.
Now,
I
in terms,
really don't.
I'm not a manufacturer. I assume in terms of manufacturing, this might be a much cheaper
Infinitely
option.
cheaper, I'm sure.
So
I'm sure. But how much worse could it be to have 4 coin values. Here's a whole bunch of 1s. Here's a whole bunch of 5s, 10s, 50s. You know, it shouldn't be that bad. I just don't care for it. I think in the deluxe version they do have a different method. We don't have that version. We have this version. So.
It's going to take a long time to sleeve all those.
Yeah,
those dollar
yeah. I'm
bills.
thinking of a laminator.
Yeah, laminated would be a bad idea.
Is that what a laminator does?
I don't know what a laminator does, but this is what I imagine. And this is the universal my machine's working thing. But to sum up for me, I like this game a lot. It's competitive. It's got a lot of strategy in it. One thing I did want to mention too, you know, when you start the game, you're in phase 1, you get 1 house. You're going to have 1 house, or I call them houses. You have 1 factory, 1 power plant on each place. When you get to phase 2 or step 2, you can have 2 people occupy the same space, and the cost goes up. And then in step 3, you can have 3 people, as I just set up a little bit here, and the cost goes up that much more. What can happen is if someone can get bottlenecked behind some very expensive things, they can't get out. That's the only time I've seen someone suffer badly in this game, where they fall behind. It's too expensive for them to move, and they kind of get jammed up.
Correct.
Or in the beginning of the game, you can isolate somebody and they have to go under you because you can go right past people. Then they have to pay all that price to get out. And so there's some strategy there on cutting people off. But that's the only time I've seen people fall behind, is if they end up in some unfortunate situation.
Correct.
And by behind, I mean, most everybody's at the finish line, this dude's like 2 behind. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
He's not on 1 and, you know, throwing stuff against the wall. It doesn't get that bad, but it can happen where you can get pinned, especially if you play with vindictive people. So, but it's a good game.
I like it. The only caveat is that this game can take a long time. It's a very simple game, and the mechanics are very simple, but they require a lot of thought. When you're doing the auction, it's not a fast-paced auction. You know, people are thinking for a minute about what they want to bid, and you know, this is every time it goes back and forth. It's a lot of math involved, and like Dave was saying, you know, planning ahead. So, you know, it's easy stuff. It's, you know, 2 + 2 + 2, but it takes a long time for each of those steps sometimes.
Calculating how much you're going to pay on an auction, how much money do you have for resources, then do I have enough money to actually expand into a new city? So, but that's what I enjoy about the game. It takes some brain power.
And it takes a little bit of brain power, especially in our group, with 5 other people screaming at you to hurry up. So I'm doing 16 + 15 + 6 + 15 + 12, and you just hurry up. It adds a special element to the game. Yeah, or Dave's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But the game is, I'm sorry,
bring a
Lloyd.
calculator.
Bring it.
The game's up front
Bring it
of them,
on.
though. If you look at the box, it says it's going to take about 2 hours to play. So
Yeah.
it does.
But this is it's 2 hours of moving forward, advancing, 2 hours of fun. The game we played just yesterday, one of the games we played was like 3 hours long.
It was long.
It was like 3.5 hours long. There was 5 or 6 of us playing. There was 6 of us
There were
playing.
6 of us.
We had to take a lunch break. It was that
Right,
long.
but with, you know, with removing the lunch break time, it was still like 3.5 hours.
But
But it was fun.
yeah.
I can say with confidence, though, I think everybody enjoyed it.
I think so.
Really, they truly enjoyed it.
think
Nobody
so.
felt like, oh, this is just dragging. No, they were looking forward to say, can I have a chance to win this game? So
Yeah, and there is sort of a sense of, hey, I was way behind, and I was able to get into
Right.
like second place or something. Which
And I think that's a great point. No matter where you were in the stack and the order, I felt like everyone could see a path to victory.
correct.
If you can see the path to victory, then that keeps people invested. You know, nobody checked out, and that's good.
Yeah, and especially since 2 of us here found a path to victory, and 1 of us didn't.
When am I going to see the video?
I highly recommend this game.
Yeah, me too.
yeah, it's a great game. It's called Power Grid. It's been out for a little while, but I guess they're always coming out with new expansions. So if you haven't played it, you know, recommend it.
Highly, yep.
There's value in the old. And that's what you get when you make fun of me. Or my ability to win this game.
All right, thanks a lot for watching our review of Power Grid. Special thanks to our subscribers and anyone who took the time to click on this video. We'll see you next time.